What's up guys, Readiness Reviews here with you again, and we are doing a military surplus rifle unboxing in this video. It's been about 2 years since I've made an order from Classic Firearms. This past weekend, Classic was running a heavy discount on their No. 5 Lee-Enfield jungle carbines. I was a little bit hesitant to order one of these rifles because even though they were on sale, they're still not cheap. The deciding factor was actually left up to you guys who answered this poll of whether or not I should buy one of these, and it looks like about 70% of you think that I should, so here we are. I'm ready to get this box open to see what we got, but before we do, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to help it out with that algorithm, and subscribe to the channel to see much more military surplus firearms content here on YouTube. Let me know what you think about Classic Firearms down in the comments. And now let's get this package over to the desk. So FedEx has sent me another box that has been through the ringer. It's all caved in the middle here, and it has very little rigidity. We also have a little hole peeking through here. I really hope this rifle survived the trip. That would be a shame if it was damaged in shipping. I believe the sale Classic Firearms was running on these rifles was for President's Day, and the asking price was $500. With shipping and tax, this rifle ended up costing me about $550, which is significantly lower than the market value for a No. 5 jungle carbine. However, these carbines are in turn-in surplus condition, meaning that they're not in the best shape, they're dirty, and I believe they're coming from that Inner Ordnance Royal Tiger Imports batch, which means all bets are off the table in terms of condition. We will be opening that today with a bayonet. I've featured this one on the channel a couple times before. Many of you know what it is, but for those of you who do not, this is a No. 1 Lee-Enfield bayonet. End cap has a little bit of packing paper, a fair amount of packing paper actually, and our rifle is bubble wrapped. I'll use a bit of a sharper knife to cut this tape. A No. 5 Enfield has been at the top of my list for rifles that I want to add to the collection for several years at this point. I've been putting it off and putting it off, holding out for one that I could find in person first and that I knew would be in good condition and a good shooter. But for the price they were offering on these, I really couldn't resist rolling the dice one more time. They put a little bit of extra packing material around the bolt and the rear sight. And there is our No. 5 jungle carbine from Classic Firearms. Externally, we're not looking half bad. I'm not seeing any major cracks or issues with the stock. It seems to be in very serviceable condition. Right away, I do notice that this has a proper No. 5 bolt knob. We can tell that because the bolt knob itself has a little recess cut into it for weight savings. The whole idea behind the No. 5 carbine was to shave off as much weight as possible. The only true cosmetic issue that I've noticed so far is our little sling loop here is a little bit bent. That may or may not have happened in shipping, but that's something that I can probably fix with a couple authoritative taps of a mallet. It has the nice milled type of rear sight. As I'm cranking these adjustments, it does appear that the sight operates properly, so that's good news. Let's open up that bolt. I suppose we'll go ahead and pull that all the way out here. There's our bolt head. That bolt head is marked with a 0. There are several different sizes of Enfield bolt head, and the armors would change those out on a given rifle to regulate headspace. Drop that magazine. The magazine has a little bit of rust on it and is quite dirty, but the follower seems to be in good shape and it has decent spring tension. This is pretty cool. The receiver is marked 1144. That's 1944, and that is a F-marked rifle for Zachary, the arsenal in which this rifle was made. A good number of jungle carbines were actually made post-World War II, so it's kind of neat to know that this one was made during the conflict. Our barrel band is pretty corroded and rusty. I'm seeing a little bit of what may be rust or just general dirt and grime along the wood line there. The front sight seems to be in good shape. The protective wings are not bent or anything. We do have our bayonet lug and our conical flash hider. There were reports of these rifles being wire wheeled and a lot of the finish being removed. It does not look like that this rifle saw one of those wire wheels because the metal finish is not looking too bad. The butt plate is very worn. Our rubber pad is rock hard, but that's normal for these rifles, and it's actually a little bit worn down. Here is our import marking on the underside of the barrel, not a bad place to put it. And as suspected, that is IO Incorporated, Enfield, No.5 Mark 1 303 British. IO Incorporated is Royal Tiger Imports, and so this rifle is coming to us from the Ethiopian horde. Externally, we are looking good, but the real deciding factor on whether or not this rifle is worth the money paid is that bore condition. Unfortunately, with this flash hider, I can't really do a muzzle test for you guys, but from what I can see from the bore, it has nice, sharp rifling. It is dark, but I believe that will probably clean up some. There appears to be some very minor pitting, but all in all, the bore on this rifle is looking to me like it is in shooting condition, and I think it'll look a lot better than it does right now after taking it out and shooting it. This rifle is dirty, it needs a lot of cleaning, but it looks like I got pretty lucky and was sent a good looking rifle. The serial number on the bolt does not match the serial number on the receiver, but that doesn't surprise me one bit. Let's see if our trigger mechanism works. Indeed it does. The action's a little gritty, but that will improve with cleaning. The safety seems to be all intact, but let's see if it functions. That's on safe. And the trigger is disengaged. Off safe. And we can fire. Let's see what she's looking like under the wood line. I got a brand new Wheeler driver set for Christmas, and I am absolutely loving it. Of course, we take that trigger guard screw out first. Or I suppose we could have done this barrel band first. There's a lot of crud coming out from the edges of these screws. This barrel band feels like it's about rusted on. That guy was tight, but we got it. Now we can remove this handguard. This looks like walnut to me, and it appears we have a small crack running through the underside. It has not broken through to the top, so that'll be something that I try to work a little bit of glue in to really shore it up. But other than that, the handguard looks like it's in really good shape. It's not particularly worn down. Has nice sharp edges still. There are very characteristic lightning cuts that you will find on a No.5 jungle carbine. Those rifles that were a conversion from a No.4 to a No.5 will not have these cuts. If you do have these cuts, the rifle is a legit purpose-made No.5. There's all kinds of dirt coming out of the inside of this rifle. Dirt and grass and who knows what. Now let's get that main action screw out. All the screws were very easy to remove. There's our trigger guard, complete with tons of little bugs. They look kind of like bed bugs, actually. Gross. And of course, this trigger guard is very dirty, but complete nonetheless. Oh boy, it is bug central inside this thing. Look at all those little carcasses. It is nothing but bugs and what looks like dung. There's even some spider eggs down in there. There's a big one. But aside from the creepy crawlies in the dirt, this forestock looks to be in really excellent condition. There don't appear to be any cracks present of any kind. No real degradation of the wood. Just a couple scratches here and there. I really couldn't have asked for much better. The No.4 Lee-Enfield that I got from Royal Tiger Imports back in the day had these exact same bugs all in it. So perhaps this rifle and that one were bunkmates at some point, because it really was suffering from an infestation. So I do have a full, complete, functional rifle that is most certainly in shooting condition, and for about 550 bucks, that is really hard to beat these days. Perhaps I just got lucky, but from what viewers of the channel have sent me and reviews I've read on these classic Firearms No.5s, in general, people were pretty happy with them. You'll see a complaint here and there about the finish being really worn or possibly having a rough-shaped bore. Classic Firearms makes it pretty clear that these rifles are basically a roll of the dice on what you're going to get, but depending on your risk tolerance, that might be a dice roll worth making, when these guns are on sale at least. Over the weekend, I was at the Gundy Awards down at Drive Tanks in Texas, and I just so happened to run into none other than Clint Morgan himself of Classic Firearms. Clint was actually a really nice guy, and getting to interact with him face to face was one of the deciding factors in me making the purchase for this particular rifle. The final purchasing decision was made by you guys though, and I'm glad I took your advice, because now I finally have a No.5 jungle carbine in the inventory, and it's about darn time. We will be getting this old bird out to the range in the very near future, so be sure to stay tuned to the channel for that. I might even do a gun cleanup video for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that thumbs up. That really does help the channel out with the algorithm and helping other people find my videos. Subscribe to the channel to catch all future military surplus content like this. And let me know what you thought about this video down in the comments. How do you think I did for the investment of $550? And that about does it for this one. I will catch you guys in the next video. See you then. Peace.